Big news for Jamaica. An oil survey vessel has arrived in Jamaican waters. Yes, we're talking about oil. And yes, this could be a game changer. On Monday, January 26, 2026, United Oil and Gas confirmed that the RV Gyre is now in the Kingston Harbor, and it's set to conduct offshore surveys that are designed to determine whether hydrocarbon or oil-like substances detected beneath Jamaica's waters are commercially viable. And this collection of critical new data will be done across the Walton Morant Basin license, which is a massive offshore block just south of the island. And let's be clear, this is not an oil drilling exercise, but it's a critical step in the process. Now listen carefully to these numbers. The Walton Morant Basin covers 22,400 square kilometers and is believed to contain over 7 billion barrels of prospective oil and gas resources. 7 billion barrels. To put that into perspective, this basin is being compared directly to the Stabroek block in Guyana, which holds roughly 11 billion barrels of oil equivalent and has already transformed Guyana's economy. We're talking about similar size, similar source rock, and a similar geological structure. And the estimated economic potential, up to 70 billion US dollars. So the question is no longer, could Jamaica have oil? The real question is, if Jamaica finds oil, who really benefits? And what could that oil mean for you? Let's break it down. If Jamaica were to discover commercially viable oil, the implications could be massive. The potential exists for lower energy costs for businesses, especially those manufacturers and agro-processors, reduced electricity bills for households, lower transportation costs for both households and businesses, improved competitiveness, and export growth. The potential exists on the government side for higher revenues, and that could fund roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals. Then there's higher paying technical and professional jobs, and of course a stronger foreign exchange earnings and greater currency stability. So this isn't just about oil, this is about energy security and economic independence. Right now, Jamaica imports most of its energy at volatile global prices, and this is driven largely by transportation and power generation needs. However, local production could fundamentally change that equation. So I know some of you are asking, should Jamaica even want oil? Now let's address that uncomfortable part. There are Jamaicans who are deeply apprehensive about oil exploration, and for good reason. They raise serious concerns about environmental damage, potential impacts on the fisheries sector, corruption and mismanagement, foreign companies who come only to extract our natural wealth, and the fact that ordinary citizens may see little to no benefit. Then of course, there's the geopolitical pressure and instability. And let's be honest, history gives them reasons to worry. But here's the counter argument. The rewards, if managed properly, could outweigh the risk. But that's a big if. So you may be saying, but haven't we tried this before? Yes. And this is where the story gets interesting. Jamaica has explored for oil before multiple times. And here's a fact that often surprises people. Every single one of the 11 wells drilled historically showed evidence of hydrocarbons or the presence of oil substances. every single one. So why has there been no production? Well, it could be because of the reported poor quality of the legacy seismic data. In simple terms, we drilled in the wrong places, the technology wasn't good enough, the subsurface imaging was flawed, targets were missed even though the hydrocarbon system was active. Fast forward to today, we now have advanced seismic processing, better geochemical analysis, improved basin modeling, and far more accurate targeting. In other words, this is not your grandfather's oil exploration. We have come into the 21st century. So, what's actually happening right now? As of January 26, 2026, United Oil and Gas is conducting offshore surveys in Jamaican waters. This is not drilling as yet. This phase is about gathering the data needed to make a final high-stakes decision. The survey is expected to confirm the presence of hydrocarbons, improve the understanding of the subsurface, reduce the exploration risk, support future drilling and potential farm-out partnerships. And the operations are expected to last a few weeks and the initial results in early Q1 2026 or at the end of March. And here's where the pressure comes in. United faces a drill or drop deadline. By the end of January 2026, they must decide whether to proceed. If they commit, they must drill at least one well before January 2028. If not, they lose the license. This clause exists for a reason. It prevents companies from sitting on national resources without action. So make no mistake, the clock is ticking, and with January almost at an end, it appears United is all in. But let's be clear, oil itself is not a blessing or a curse. It's all about the management of it. From our neighbor, Guyana's experience, it shows both sides of the coin. They have experienced rapid economic growth, massive revenue inflows. However, they have also had serious questions about equity, transparency, and sustainability. So, if Jamaica strikes oil, the real debate should be, how are the oil contracts structured? How much actually stays in Jamaica, and how are revenues invested, and who decides on it? Because oil can either build a nation or it can deepen the inequalities that already exist. So, this moment could move Jamaica from an interesting possibility to a serious energy contender. Or it could confirm that the resources are not commercially viable. Either way, this moment matters. So, we're standing at a crossroads. This could be a turning point in Jamaica's economic history, or just another missed opportunity. We'll continue to monitor this development and provide updates as more information becomes available. This is Building Wealth with Wisdom. Until next time, walk good, stay wise, and build wealth with wisdom. See you in the next episode.